Hello, and welcome to another pseudo-British episode of the podcast of no return. I'm your narrator. Narrator? Sorry, the script gives me no further information. First the fake accent, and now no proper name. Someone's going to hear about this. At any rate, it's the late 1980s, and two crumbling relics of the English gentry, Sir Cedric Rawlings and Lord Monty Whitboro, sit in front of the roaring hearth at Rawlings' dusty manor house in the English countryside. They meet on this cold, rainy day in early spring to pay homage to Rawlings' recently deceased groundskeeper, Edwards.
I hear it's going to rain all week.
Edwards could never get enough of the rain. For me, it was more like God relieving himself into the piss bowl that is this earth. The subject never failed to raise a row between us.
But why would you two fight about the rain?
He was delighted with it, being good for the grounds and all. As for my part, it only spoiled my golf game.
But with no rain, you wouldn't have a golf game. I'm sure you are ultimately reasonable on that point, Cedric.
Oh, reasonable, yes. Bah! With Edwards gone, I'm done being reasonable. If I say there's a blue bunny playing the violin in my breast pocket, then there damn well is one. I've lived a life of playing by the rules, and frankly, I'm tired of it.
Well, I had no idea you felt so, constrained. Was Edwards always your groundskeeper?
Not always. Before the war, there was the Scotsman.
The Scotsman?
Ran around in kilts and so forth. Not a good look.
But if he did his job properly, then what difference would it make?
It wasn't only the kilts. He insisted on playing the bagpipes every night at sunset.
Sounds rather lyrical.
Well, the first 30 or 40 times, perhaps. But there's just so many times you can hear fingers weeping before you want to smash your head in with a rock.
I suppose so.
I finally had to put him down.
Put him down?
I ran him over with the Bentley. He was too busy piping away to notice my approach. Went down officially as an accident.
Wasn't that a bit severe?
Bah! Not severe enough. I still hear him playing all too often.
I believe I hear him playing, too.
Oh, yes. The rotter insists on haunting the place. Can't get rid of him. Psychics, exorcists, druids, shamans, whatever. I've brought them all in. He won't leave.
Well, there must be something you can do.
Well, fortunately, yes. You'll have to excuse me for a moment.
A hunting rifle?
Yes. No, just give me a minute. Okay, you braveheart Black Watch bastard! Plan on piping away for all eternity, eh? Not in my house, you're not.
Cedric, what in the name of...
Problem solved. Oh, at least for a short while.
How do you mean?
Well, he doesn't realize he's dead, poor bugger. Stands out there in the foyer, thinking he's welcoming guests like he's the palace guard. It's then I go out there and plug him with a few rounds. Takes the dimwit a few weeks to realize he was dead in the first place, and so I couldn't have killed him. He then resumes his infernal playing and ignores the fact he's full of holes. And on it goes.
Remarkable.
At any rate, enough of that haunted hedge-trimmer Scotsman. We're here to remember Edwards.
Of course. You hired Edwards right after the war broke out. How did you know he was the right man for the job?
Well, the first thing I did was to make sure he wasn't a Scotsman. Or at least the very least had no bagpipes.
Fool me once.
It wasn't exactly easy finding a good man for the job, as most of them were busy signing up to fight the Jerrys.
I remember you and Edwards being quite busy defending the home front.
Bah! I didn't have much to do with it. It was all Edwards, you know.
Yes, I've heard he did a most remarkable job, though the specifics escape me at the moment.
Best damn bomb catcher there ever was.
Could you say that again?
Well, the Jerrys would throw all that they could at us, and Edwards caught every last bomb dropped on these grounds.
With his hands?
No, he ran around the place pushing a pram. Of course, with his hands. How else do you catch a bomb?
I wouldn't know. There really isn't much literature devoted to such technique, if any. And And what did Edwards do with the bombs once he caught them?
I defused them and tossed them in the river. I mean, what else would you do with them? Give them to Toys for Tots? Use them as cricket bats?
Again, I really don't know. This is the first bomb-catching reminiscence that I've ever been privy to.
Indeed, indeed. And so, of course, you can see how it'll take the devil to replace him.
Quite. I hope there won't be much bomb dropping around here anytime soon.
A glass of sherry. It's about that time.
A glass of sherry would be most agreeable. A toast.
A toast. To Edwards, the finest bomb catcher that ever lived.
And to the Scotsman, may the old windbag finally rest in peace.
Oh, bloody hell, you just had to reference him. If he hears his name, he thinks it's time to play. Gotcha! Will Sir Cedric finally be able to rid himself of the Scotsman? Or will a World War II German Luftwaffe reenactor go too far and drop a live bomb on the unsuspecting manor house? And, most importantly, will I finally get to ditch this ludicrous accent and be given a proper name? I've even got one already worked up. D-Lo Sexy. Oh yeah. Delocious. Delosophy of love. Sorry. Tune in to the next episode of the Podcast of No Return for the thrilling wrap-up of this episode along with the previous two, all bundled into one. Until then, I'm your host, D-Lo